Hi, this is Linda Shea with Drilling Contractor. I'm at the 2023 IADC SPE, MPD, and UBO conference in Denver. Today I've spoken with several speakers and attendees at this conference to talk about their thoughts on the current state of MPD in the industry, as well as their thoughts on the future of the technology. Let's hear what they have to say.
Today we have two big challenges. One is cost-wise. We still have a lot of cost because of not having standardized offerings from MPD. Each company has a way of doing MPD, so it's good to have the IADC working on the best practices to standardize how we do it, and a lot of misconceptions about it being complex and reducing the safety of operation, that it's in the other way around. MPD enhances the safety of operation and aids for us to do a safer and reach unachievable goals with complex that are unattainable with complex with conventional drilling.
I think we've come a long way since the days when MPD started. I think it's more about understanding what the technique can do for everyone. It's been used in wells where it is necessary to have MPD. I think that we need to move to a place where you use it for performance enhancement as a drilling optimization tool. So I think what needs to happen is, as more people and new generations learn about MPD and how it can benefit them, the adoption rate will increase substantially.
Okay, well, over the next decade, MPD is going to grow rather exponentially, right? If you look at the projections, right, the market for MPD is at least going to double. So it's going to be a very healthy environment, right? A very good place to be in MPD. And what I personally hope that will happen is that we'll see kind of, with that growth of MPD, right, more talent attraction and retention in the industry, right? Because it's very high tech, very appealing, right? I'd like to see more applications, of course, of MPD. In fact, I would like to see MPD become the established way in which we drill wells, where you no longer justify MPD, but you have to justify drilling the well conventionally, right? And MPD is the way you drill the well as a standard, almost, right? I think in the future, people will ask why we ever drilled wells conventionally open to the atmosphere, right?
What's keeping us from doing that right now?
I think there is still a lot of education that needs to happen. This is also why I'm writing the book on MPD, right? Because I think a lot of people still don't understand MPD, don't understand the benefits that it brings, not only technical, but also on the safety side, right? Very important. So the MPD experts understand that, but it's a select group, right? This is a very select group that we have here at the conference. And we still need to do a lot of education to make people understand, right? And build MPD into well construction as a standard, right? In all of well construction. And then I think there are other things that will happen. Further automation, right? More adoption of MPD. You see that here at the conference, got more cementing, completion applications, right? I think there's going to be automation of well control. That's going to happen. So it's going to be an exciting time going forward in MPD.
Well, you know, the technology will keep improving, pressure control will get better, everyone's got their own, you know, technology. In many ways, I like to think of it as a drilling technique, you know. Anyone who's got pretty good control of the technology, they're able to offer operators a technique that allows them to drill wells, in as everyone knows, in MPD. So, but the trend right now, certainly in the international space, in the offshore space, you see more and more people saying, okay, we want the drilling contractor to own it. And you know, so we've seen a little bit of drilling contractors come to, you know, companies like ourselves and say, okay, they want us to own it, can you help us with that? And so I think you know, we have to adapt and become partners with drilling contractors to allow drilling contractors to deliver, you know, high quality MPD service. And then if we don't adapt and do that with the drilling contractor, we might not have a chair to sit on in this game of musical chairs. So absolutely, our goal is to adapt and become integrated with, you know, well-regarded large drilling contractors. I think that's what will happen over the next 10 years.
Okay, first they need to make sure they have a perfect understanding of what's the scenario they're getting in, what type of MPD they're going to apply. Then they need to see the procedures in place from IADC, procedures from the operator, and have a bridging document and a proper planning for this first deployment of MPD. Check if all the equipments and all the integration necessary between all the service providers are in place, and training. Training is key. Usually you don't have a rig that consistently operates an MPD, and sometimes they operate a year and then it's like 18 months to do another operation, and training gets lost and competency gets lost, and this is key.
I think MPD is still seen as like a catch-all solution. It can be applied to any well and it's going to solve your problem. Or even on land, I think a lot of misconceptions are that you can just continuously lower the mud weight and just keep replacing it with surface back pressure. And you know, that alone, you can't do the ladder because of kick tolerance. You got to make sure that, you know, you're still keeping a responsible amount of pressure on the well and you're staying within your window. But even as a catch-all solution, we've seen a lot of presentations today, especially offshore surrounding CML, controlled mud level, where, you know, MPD is actually the opposite of what you want in a solution. You know, if the fracture gradient at the top of your section is lower than the pore pressure at the bottom of your section, then MPD is exactly what you don't need, right? Or at least surface back pressure MPD isn't. So CML is a solution for there. And then up on land, you know, MPD isn't always going to solve every problem that you're facing. You have to make sure you're implementing it correctly and that it fits the application that you're looking to do. So really the myth is surrounding it's a catch-all solution. You know, you got to make sure you're still applying it appropriately.
I have a passion for safely executed operations, and then, you know, there's been times where the company I represent and the people in our company have been challenged by operators and people to do things that are not in their best interest. And that culminated for me in help, you know, working with the IDC to get some free guidance out to people, but internally setting a hard and fast set of rules and training around that says, look, as a company, we want you to do the right thing. We don't want you're not here to be told what to do. You're here to give advice. So you're empowered to use your stop work authority. You're empowered to do that. And, you know, from management level in our organization, we will support you. So that very much directly impacted me.
I think with automation and the way that we're drilling our wells here, that we're going to see performance become a driving factor even more, and MPD will help drive that performance to improve operations. And the way that we are dealing with disposal of formation fluids, that we're seeing more and more water flow, and I think that'll continue to drive MPD implementation as long as results prove that it works successfully.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.